following your passion is the stupidest thing you could ever do.
Okay. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of 12 TV, where we chat business, branding, and marketing. Today we have our good friends in the house, Rowena and RJ Cui from PlanIt Sound. If you haven't met this powerhouse couple, they are the creative force behind some of the city's most exciting charitable events, such as Avenue of Hope, Youth Power, and the Courage Gala. They've also been named Avenue Magazine's Top 40 Under 40, and their marketing agency has worked with international clients such as the NBA, X Games, and the United Way. How's that for an intro, guys?
That's great, thanks.
Thank you.
Can you intro us for all of our prospect
Yes.
meetings moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to take that clip and take it with us to our media.
Awesome.
media.
Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So RJ and Rowena, you come from different work backgrounds. How did you start PlanIt Sound and take the leap into opening your own business?
Well, when we decided together that we wanted to start a company together, we weren't sure what we wanted to do, and we actually ended up starting a shoe company. It was called
Wow.
U-Shoe.
Yeah.
So we did this vacation, we went to Shanghai, we ended up buying like 5 custom suits, custom cashmere winter jackets, and literally 12 pairs of shoes. So we sent back, we FedExed back a huge box of our dirty laundry so we could fit all of our shoes and travel with all the new stuff and keep it close to us. So we came back, we're like, God, there's something here. Like, this is so cheap to make it custom here in Shanghai. There's a business here, there's money here to be made. So we started a custom shoe company where you could create this white canvas of a shoe and put whatever design you wanted on it. We learned really quickly that we sucked at it because we loved buying shoes, we loved wearing shoes, we weren't good at designing them. And there was also a big disconnect between Shanghai with the English barrier and you know, getting prototypes back that were nothing like we were described or designing them. And so there was a big learning curve and a lot of hoops to jump through. So we focused and we're like, what are our strengths? What are our skills? What resources do we currently have? So for me, it was marketing and advertising and music production. For her, it was really specialized in community engagement, human services, and that humanity aspect of it. And that was the dual vision. That was how PlanIt Sound was born, was combining the community engagement with the corporate clientele.
And to add to that, you know, like, community is our business.
Right.
You know, that is always going to be the foundation and the building block of PlanIt Sound, is that dual vision, you know, and that strength-based, solution-focused approach and how we built our company was a philosophy that we worked in when we worked with at-risk youth frontline. And so we took that and said, this really works. We want to enter business. We need to be really good at maintaining and being in a world of relationships. Let's take this philosophy and build a company. And that's what we did.
Awesome. Cool. Husband-wife team. How does that work? You probably get asked that question a lot. You guys have like wanting to kill each other, or you know,
Sometimes.
you guys work together all day 24/7, or
We're married, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're married and we've been in a relationship for 18 years.
Yeah.
Like, so we were dating for 8 or 9 years before. It took me 5 years to ever get a date with her, chasing her around university. And
determination.
Yeah, persistence,
Yeah.
yes.
that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Persistence is key. I know what I want, and then even if it takes me 6 years, I'll get it.
5 years.
But so what were we talking about? What was the question?
Husband and wife team.
Yeah, so you know, we have our challenges, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's what makes our business so strong, is that we're so completely different. We're like A and Z different, that we're never really butting heads because we have such different strengths that complement each other within the business. So, and you know, in terms of, I wouldn't choose another business partner. Like, everything she touches turns to gold. Like, she is the hardest worker, the most generous, kind-hearted woman that I know, and it makes it easy. So yes, of course, we have our challenges as husband and wife and being in that space together. But for the most part, it's what makes the business strong.
You have a little one at home, Red,
Do
right?
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you guys are not following these guys on Instagram, you see his awesome videos and pictures every day.
It
I like
looks
the one.
daddy.
I like the one yesterday, all the way up, right?
All the way
up.
Yeah. I know, like having your own business is a 24/7 thing. You know, all day long. How do you balance that life work with a young child at home?
Where do we start with that?
Well, I mean, he was weeks old when we brought him on set for his first video shoot. He was in a Mitsubishi video.
That's right.
Right? So that's like a perfect indication of how our work life is flexible, but how we make that work with our family life. Not that we're working 24/7 all the time, but we have that flexibility to leave at 2 in the afternoon and take Red to his doctor appointment together, the both of us, and to do that as a family.
Yeah, we've never missed one.
And not have to take time off work, you know, per se, or ask somebody's permission to do that. And then at the same time having to balance, like, okay, we're gonna be on site at an event for the next 2 days straight. So we need to call grandma and grandpa and have, Red stay with them. And sometimes just so we can see him, they'll bring him on set or bring him to the event so that we can spend an hour with him even.
Right.
So we make it work. Yeah.
We make it work. And our son loves it. You know, like there's on my Snapchat, I think it was with Rowena Shelter doing their custom audio brand, their anthem. And he loves, there's this photo of, on Instagram, there's this photo of RJ and he's conducting the choir. And we're doing rehearsal, we're leading up to the gala night, and Red's behind him and mimicking and kind of looking and doing the same thing, right? So it is, he is part of our life.
Right.
You know, so he's part of the work, he's part of the day-to-day. And, I warned RJ, I said, he may not want to do this and take over the family business. He may want to be a geologist. However, these experiences will just enhance and make him be whoever that authentic self is going to be for Red, right? So this will be another thing to add to his list of adventures.
He's going to have a lot of adventures by the time he gets older, right? So PlanIt Sound seems to be the go-to team to create special events in the not-for-profit world. How did you get into these type of events, and niching down into nonprofit event management and marketing help your business grow and scale?
We've always produced events. Like before we officially started PlanIt Sound, like when you were part of Dark Sun and RJ was an MC.
That's my hip hop group, FYI.
Yes. And when the Junos came to Edmonton,
right.
We got to be a part of the local Juno Fest, the showcase of local talent. Anytime any big urban rap group came to town, like we had a chance to help organize, coordinate, help sell tickets. I think it was Beatnuts was my favorite. We had Snoop Dogg, Coolio.
Open for Snoop Dogg, Coolio, 2 Live Crew.
Yeah, so we've always had that event
Where do we
experience.
find videos of RJ's
Yes,
group?
we should. I will send them to you.
If you look deep, you can find them.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
I'll share the link. Yeah, those will go viral. I'm sure. So we've always done events, and then in my not-for-profit work, fundraising is a huge component to survive in that world. These are individuals who are already marginalized, but their financing is also very limited. So that hustle, and to be an entrepreneur, that hustle needs to be part of your makeup. That has to be a part of who you are.
Right.
So events, naturally, we focused on the fundraising component. We focused on charities. One of the things when I chat with event colleagues and they're like, man, I need some support. Can you guide me? I'm doing my first fundraiser. How do you do it? Like, how do you sell it out? Number one, you gotta love it. Your values, your moral compass has to align with that charity of choice for you, and be really selective. With us, we donate at least 65% of our time, resources, and talent to every fundraiser event that we produce. And we're all in. So typically, when we meet with clients, they're like, okay, we're hiring you for event management. So what does the day of look like? I'm like, oh no, we're all in with you. We're gonna help, and we're gonna design your event collateral, the look, the feel, the brand of your event or gala. We're going to do your marketing, we're going to do your PR, your media, your communications, and we're going to produce your event. We take
all in one package.
All in one package,
right.
and that guest experience. With the rise of digital and online engagement, there's more of an expectation for our clients to how do we engage people at their tables. So not everyone is on their phone. Where's that balance? So we do that through customized decor. We get the volunteers. Involved in the staff from the organization from the top down to be a part of that process.
Awesome. aside from all the charitable event work you do, I know you mentor and manage and work with a lot of young aspiring artists, such as Leah Cole's one we're seeing everywhere these days. Can you tell us more about that side of the business?
Yeah, so I mean, music and production is my heart and soul, right? Like I produced music for over 15 years while I was doing radio advertising and doing youth work, and also, you know, starting programs with Rowena where we were at a youth work agency and starting a program called Sounds of Youth where we were keeping kids, at-risk youth off the streets and getting them into my basement studio and getting them to record a song about their life and their trials and tribulations, and then they get to leave with a CD in their hand of this song that they've created, and giving them that moment, helping create that moment of empowerment and like fulfillment for them that would hopefully change the path of their, you know, that they've chosen or that they've experienced in a really cool and dramatic way, and kind of morphing into this whole PlanIt Sound thing. And so it, you know, it became the marketing and advertising side of it, but we always said that if we were to get back into a music production kind of a thing where it was strictly about music.
Coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're too old for that. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But if we were going to come back to
Right.
do something like that, that it would have to be something special, and that's what Leah Cole was. You know, like when I ran into her, she was performing when she was 13 years old at Churchill Square, and I was walking by. She was doing a version of Billie Jean. I was like, stopped dead in my tracks. I knew at 13 how good she was. Fast forward to 19, she is growing every day in exponential ways as an artist and as a person, and she was in this transition of like graduating high school, and I've been sort of mentoring her along the way, and her mom's been asking me questions about grants and awards and performances, what should we do, and this, that, and the third. And she had a little bit of money to invest and was wondering, like, do I go to school full time or do I just do music full time? What should I do? And so I kind of advised that you should not go to school. I think you have to try to do both if you can, but if you have this money to invest, we'll figure out how we can do that, and we'll help you by keeping the cost down, doing it at cost, so you invest in the right creative pieces, which was with you guys, which you guys helped design, and you
So
killed
grateful.
it. And so having those moments to like create an electronic press kit for her and help her with the grant applications, things that I've been successful with in my past musical career that I can transfer to her and help her do. It's been a really cool sort of passion project for us to be, and for me especially too, to just be engaged in music for the love of music, and just like not to worry about key messaging for a second, and just like worry about a really cool song. And that's what we get to do with the Leah Cole stuff. So it's been fun to like engage in a creative capacity that way.
Right. But for audience listening out there, are you still, if there's like emerging artists or, you know, people who are looking to kind of build their brand and get out there, is that something you're taking on? Can they give you a shout?
Of course, always give us a shout. We're
Yes.
we don't close any doors. We always listen to everybody. And since people have been seeing the Leah Cole stuff, 8 or 9 people at least within a few months of that have reached out to us to help. And we've been able to help with other components as well. So absolutely.
Fantastic. You come from the radio world, right? How do you feel radio marketing has changed in the past few years, and is it still effective?
Yeah, you know, it's effective. When I was in radio, I was at the Bounce, and from the launch up until it became the #1 hit music station, we were the only hit music station for the longest time, and we were so busy. Like I was making great money, and we were turning business down because we were sold out all the time. And if you wanted to reach females 25 to 34, you bought the Bounce. That's the only way that you could do it on radio, and it was very effective, and it was for the most part more cost effective than it is today, because now you got to buy 5 radio stations to have the same effect, to have the same impact and get that same coverage with that same demographic. So there isn't the one, like if you wanted country, you bought Kissin'. If you wanted modern rock, you bought Sonic. If you wanted pop music, you bought the Bounce. You know, if you want to talk, you bought Ched. That was it. Now you got to buy all of them to speak to the same audience because people are doing so many different things at the same time. So it's still effective. It's still out there. I don't think radio advertising ever dies, regardless of what people say. I think it's always a part of the mix, and if you have the budget, it has to be a part of your mix. What really excites me right now is social media advertising. I think we've been able to use that for our clients and grow campaigns and marketing exponentially in a way that is hugely underpriced right now and hugely undervalued. You're able to target your audience in ways that you would never have been able to do on radio or TV, and that part of it is super exciting.
That's what we love about social too.
Yeah, it's how we engage with content, right? It's changing, and the face of what it looks like from when we were younger to now, that's what's changed. And what's going to continue to how you're going to continue to reap success and gain the wonderful clients that you work with is because you guys evolve, but you evolve in a strategic way. You're 10 steps ahead, you know, and that's what we love working with you and your team.
What I like about your business is all that advertising, all there, but that human touch factor of having these events and having everybody in the same room, and you know that you cannot get from like just a social media experience. So I think it's a combination of everything together.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and that's why again that balance where we'll always have those 3 areas of specialization of what we know we do really well is the audio branding, the video branding, and the special event management. So we've got that diverse sample to reach a greater audience, but in a unique way.
If you had to give one piece of advice or a few pieces of advice to anybody who's looking to grow their business, what would that be, guys? You guys have been through the process.
Yeah. You know, be authentic. You know, do and find what you're really good at and hone on that and work on that and build that. That's what I would say, is to be authentic. And it's going to be hard. You know, like that's one of the things. I think people talk about you're in the moment of where business is good.
Right.
The phone is ringing, emails are coming, you're getting referrals, you're working your ass off, but you know, all that is overshadowed, and sometimes you're going to have really tough days as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And I tell young people, you know, that we have people who come into our office and who call and say, hey, I want to pick your brain. I want to go into marketing, or I want to go into advertising, I want to have a conversation with you, or I want to go into social work, but I see you do a little bit of both. Like, how do you do that?
Right.
And it's to remember, like, being an entrepreneur is hard. There's going to be some really rough days, but to remember and to find that, remember that moment when you were so excited and passionate, and hone in on that, and remember that you have the ability to create and design your life, your work life, your personal life every day when you're an entrepreneur. That's a privilege, and that's a gift that we don't take for granted.
In terms of like advice that I would give, the most hilarious thing that I heard on social media one time was like, following your passion is the stupidest thing you could ever do.
Right.
Because what if you're William Hung and your passion is
You're
singing?
crappy,
Like, you suck, right?
Yeah.
Like, follow your strengths, follow your skills, focus on that, what you're really good at, and the value that you can bring to other people.
Absolutely.
And you'll become passionate about that. So it's not always, it's great if you have passion involved with it. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do, it's just something to think about, and that's what we learned by trial and error, is that, okay, we're not good at designing shoes, we like to buy them and wear them. Let's cross that off. We know that we
big
don't.
Converse guy, right?
Yeah, Chucks. At the time, it was Air Forces.
Yeah.
I had like over 50 pairs of brand new exclusive Air Forces in
Where are they
the
now?
box, never been worn. I kept a couple. I gave a bunch of them away when we moved the first time.
Yeah.
I kept about 30 pairs that I still have.
A couple.
Yeah, just a couple. That's
Yeah.
small compared to hundreds, yeah.
Awesome. So, just looking back at PlanIt Sound, what are some of the biggest accomplishments and achievements that you guys can mention that you're super proud of?
You know, I would have to say it was probably our first event contract, which was Youth Power. That was when I was still working for our local agency called Chimo Youth Retreat Center. And I was still working in that world and working with young people. And one of the challenges that kept coming up was these young people with disabilities that couldn't get a job, couldn't get employed. And it was like their caseworkers like, well, they have to have a job. Well, they don't have a job because they can't get a job. There's that constant circle that regular teenagers and young adults go through. And so Youth Power evolved, where we hand-selected exhibitors, potential employers that were there specifically to hire these youth. That first year we donated, I think 100% of our time and talent. I think we had a little bit of budget to buy potato chips and bottled water, and it was at the West End Seniors Lion Center. That was 7 years ago. You know?
She begged me to produce the audio brand for $600 that year. $600
Also, we did
that
have
year.
a little bit of a budget.
We did, yeah.
And to pay the artists, right? Like
Right.
that's one of the things. It was to pay the artists.
And then it grew. So the next year from there, it turned into full, a $3,500 more full audio brand contract. The next year, it turned into a video contract where we got a grant for $6,000. And then we eventually were asked, because of her involvement with it and her like in-depth knowledge of that industry, we're eventually asked to do the entire event
So you're
management
producing the
for
whole
it.
event now.
Yeah,
The whole
that's
event,
right.
Yeah.
where it was initially a
Seventh year.
collaboration, with the different ministries. At the time, it was Seniors and Community Supports and Alberta Employment, and that's all now, all of Human Services now. But yeah, we lead and we take care of all those elements to produce the event, and from not even 100 youth in the first year to over 3,000 just a couple weeks ago. So that I would say would be a testament to success for sure. Youth Power, it's an experiential job, career, and education event where we infuse live entertainment, and it always has a musical component. And it's a one-stop shop for young people 14 to 25 to get a job, get their resume done, cover letter, job interview training, and the ready to work wear area. So we jumpstart their wardrobe, and we provide them with complimentary business attire for their first job. And then exhibitors, we have over 50 exhibitors who are there ready to hire youth. Anywhere from big brands like PCL, we've got different, local restaurants, KFC, Taco Bell, businesses like London Drugs, lots of apprenticeship programs.
Hiring on the spot.
Yeah.
So these young people walk away. So you see, I think the best experience is you see these young people who are like, oh man, my caseworker made me come, or my mom and dad made me come.
Yeah.
And they walk in, they're like, okay, wow, this is free. They walk in, okay, I can jump into a boxing ring and like test out.
You saw the boxing ring.
Yeah. So we had Josh Clausen in there, and that was a lot of fun, and DJ Cui. But it's very interactive and experiential. So these young people get to test drive these careers and jobs and really get a feel and talk to real people. We encourage them, like, don't bring your HR people, bring the people working the front line.
Every exhibitor there does something engaging and interactive. So if we have EPS there, they're doing a handcuffing station. If there's a graphic design company, a school there, they're being involved with designing something. So they get to really experience hands-on a bunch of different industries and hopefully get hired right there on the spot.
And I think you see adults who, there's these typical stigmas of these young people. It's like, oh, they're not motivated, they're not inspired, they just play video games. These kids, they bus and come on their own.
Yeah.
Right? It is free. It's not a mandatory event through the school system or through their caseworker. They come because they want to get a job.
We see these kids with their resumes, they're all like lining up to talk at all these booths. It's quite good.
It is, and it's a great confidence booster for them, and also reinforces just that positive relationship with these employers who, again, get caught up in maybe some of those not so great things you hear about our young people.
So, to wrap this up, what's coming up here for you guys? What are you guys super excited about? What are you planning? Any big events coming up? Tell us more.
So, we're in event mode and we're shooting a bunch of video projects as well. We worked with Lorena Shelter on their last gala. Coming up in July, we're going to be going to New York to shoot a bunch of video for them.
That's fun.
So we're going for about a week and a half to work on some video there. We've got a really cool music video that we're working on with Leah Cole. We got a Story Hive grant, which we're very excited.
When does that come out?
That will be out, I believe, in August.
Yes.
So we're going to do a bunch of like behind the scenes video leaks of to promote it. So we've always got a ton of video projects on the go, working with the City of St. Albert and a bunch of Canada 150 campaigns, and then
lots of United Way staff. We're doing their campaign kickoff, so that's new for us this year. So that's going to be this September.
And we've got My United Way Voice, which is like the annual singing competition that we do. We're looking for singers, rappers, and spoken word artists to create a video and song about poverty and submit it. It is a really cool event that and contest that we get to do with United Way every year. And that launches in September, so we're in the planning stages for that, kind of still working through some sponsors and partners. Everybody from the previous year has came back on this year, so we're really growing and scaling that contest. And the prize is, I can't completely share it with you yet, but we gave away $2,500 cash last year. We're gonna give away $5,000 cash this year, and you want to stay tuned for what
There's
the
something
prize
big
is.
in the works,
It is,
right?
yeah, it is
Yeah.
enormous.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So we're excited to launch that.
Cool. And where do we find you guys?
PlanItSound.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On social media, PlanIt Sound.
Yeah.
At PlanIt Sound, at Rowena YEG,
Yeah.
for all the social media. And I don't know, there might be a new website in the works too that
That's
you
right.
might know something
Maybe.
about. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're involved just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for coming down for this first
Aw,
episode of
thank
our
you.
12 TV.
Thank
Hope
you.
you guys had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did.
Get another year, let's get it another year, get better. Blood and tears get shedded. The sweating coming with the music though. Speaking with my feelings in it with nowhere near regretting it. And what I'm smoking right is therapeutic. And she wanna leave cause she require my mind. I'm focused on success and that requires my time.